It got crazy right off the start of round 2 of the GNCC series in Georgia. And FMF Suzuki's Josh Trank and Am-Pro Yamaha's Thad Duvall established themselves as the fast guns before Trank overcame a mistake by Duvall to take his second win of the year. Can he keep it up?
Playing in the dirt, face full of mud, sacrificing flesh and blood. Playing in the dirt, digging in the ground. All I'm asking you, where you gonna be when it all goes down, 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 down?
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Racer TV and coverage of the Can-Am Grand National Cross Country Series for 2010. Jason Wygant here, your host at the beautiful Steele Creek Campground in Morganton, North Carolina, not far from Asheville. This is GNCC country for sure. Lots of fans and amateur racers. We had an amateur race this morning, 1,500 riders total this weekend, and one rider has moved from amateur to pro this year with a lot of success. Krista Shaw has him.
We're here with round 2's third place finisher, Chris Bach. Chris, you've started out with a good year. You've got 2 podiums in 2 races, and you've actually moved into the pro pits now. Are you making any changes to your program starting today's race?
No, absolutely not. We're keeping everything the same, and we're just going to do everything that we've been doing the first 2 races and keep the goals the same. I just got a cool easy up, and the guys in the semi are helping me out now, and I got them behind me, so it should be a little bit easier, hopefully.
We're here with round 2's second place finisher, Paul Whibley. Paul, you had a bit of a rough start to the season. You had some bad luck at the first race, but you ended up on the podium the last race. Are you making any changes to be able to get that win?
Yeah, I've continued working on the bike and made some improvements there and changed the setup a little bit. So I'm looking forward to hopefully the middle step of the podium this week, but it's going to be tough. It should be a good race.
All right, we're here inside the FMF Makita Suzuki rig with Josh Strang. Josh, you've had a great season so far. You've won the first 2 races. Are you feeling any pressure going into this race today, being the points leader?
No, I mean, it's good. It's good to be back here in North Carolina and back to my home state, I guess you can call it. This is where I started GNCC, and it's good to come back and race again. And I'm just happy to be back the third round of the GNCC and racing the RMZ 450 and hopefully get off to a good start and ride like I did the last 2 rounds. It was really good and get another win.
Yeah, Strang, you can tell by the accent, is not a North Carolina native, but he did ride and train and live in Hickory, North Carolina for a few years. Now he's located out in California. Some other contenders today, riders like Nathan Canny, Corey Buttrick on the factory FMF KTMs. Got to watch for those riders. Also Barry Hawk on the Am-Pro FMF Yamaha. So many riders to factor in, especially early in the season when everyone has some confidence going. And now you can see some rain beginning to fall. This is going to be tough. Let's go racing. Banging through turn 1 we go, but it's Strang who's going to grab that $250 MotorcycleUSA.com hole shot. So a couple of extra bucks in his pocket. And I believe that's Buttrick up to the number 2 spot right behind him. Buttrick is just a young kid. He's only 18 years old. And this is his first year in the XC1 Pro Division. Last year he raced XC2, and we'll get to those riders in just a moment. They're still in the starting line. Good start today for Whibley. He is right up there. Here goes Nate Canny, a good start for him. Glenn Carney goes by, waiting on Chris Bach. He just rode through the screen. And also, where is Charlie Mullins, who led the majority of our opening round in Florida? There he goes by out of the number 3. Now back to the start for XC2. It's for 250cc bikes, 2 strokes and 4 strokes together. And once again, one of the 2 strokes grabs the start. No surprise, Jason Thomas, UKJT out of Wales, has the $250 hole shot award on his Monster Energy Andrews Yamaha. The guy to beat in this class is Caleb Russell. He's the defending class champ on the FMF KTM. Still using the 4-stroke. I'll tell you what, the 2-stroke sure sound good. Russell is in second, and his teammate is in third. That is the 15-year-old Stuart Baylor. Back to our XC1 riders, and Strang is already checking out. He's got major confidence after winning the last 2 rounds. I believe that's Ryan Gainey, Honda Privateer, now up to second in front of Buttrick, and here is Whibley in fourth. So a nice setup here between Whibley, last year's champ, and the rider who challenged him down to the last round, this rider, Josh Strang, who wants to turn that 2 into a 1. Across the Steele Creek for the first time today, these guys are trying to take it easy and keep their gloves and goggles clean. Although Buttrick goes a little bit quicker through there than Strang does. He's back up to 2nd, and Whibley has moved into 3rd. So Gainey was gaining early in the race, but he's lost a few spots. There he comes through. We've got Nate Canny and Jimmy Jarrett on the Geico JG Racing Kawasaki right behind him. Not sure where Thad Duvall is. Duvall, remember, was doing what Strang is doing right now at our previous race. He got the lead early and checked out. No sign of him. So the track kind of loops back on itself there, so you can get an idea of the gap. Buttrick in 2nd, and Whibley still 3rd. Now Whibley switched teams this year. He was on the Geico Kawasaki team last year. There's definitely been an adjustment and a learning curve getting used to this new Ampro Yamaha. He's up to 3rd right now. Let's see if he can make a run at Buttrick and Strang. Stay tuned. Racer TV is brought to you by Can-Am and by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. One of the cool things about GNCC racing is there truly is a class for everyone and every machine. We run ATVs on Saturday, which includes classes for the wild and woolly utility machine riders, up to 850 cc's displacement limit in the 4x4 open class, for example. Some of these quads are 700 to 800 pounds. With the 60 or 70 horsepower, they go pretty darn quick. We have our women's ATV division as well with some factory-supported talent. And, of course, our top ATV pros. And, of course, we've got a variety of bike classes for amateurs and youth as well. Maybe you can hit us at one of the upcoming rounds when we're in your neck of the woods. Back to the action here. Can-Am GNCC Series. Josh Strang in the lead on the Suzuki. He's got a nice lead built up over Buttrick, who had an 8th and a 6th in the first 2 rounds this year. So this is a much better race for him again. He's a rookie in the big class, and he's a pretty tall kid, so KTM decided to move him up to the bigger bikes this year. Right now he's got the GNCC champ behind him, so not a bad run for Buttrick. A real well-spoken kid, comes from a great family in Logan, Ohio. Here's your XC2 class, Jason Thomas and Caleb Russell. The chase is on. These two have had some classic battles over the last couple of years. It looks like we got another one today. Look at Strang just demolishing these berms and these corners. Buttrick's had some success actually racing in the AMA Enduro Series this year as well. He really likes the tight stuff. Whibley out of New Zealand. Learning the tight terrain has been an adjustment for him. When he first came to this series about 5 years ago, he was very fast in the open stuff. The guys from Australia and New Zealand like Strang and Whibley, they're used to the wide open terrain. Buttrick here from Ohio, he was raised in the tight technical stuff. Now we got a battle going on. Nate Canny making the move on Whibley to get up into 3rd. So a nice day for the KTM squad so far. They are in 2nd and 3rd. A little bit further back, we got the 250cc Husqvarna of Glenn Carney, another Australian. And Charlie Mullins and Thad Duvall have moved up on the front runners as well, and they're bringing Chris Bach with them. Bach, the rookie, so spectacular with 2 podiums this year. He said that's his strategy. He gets a bad start, he's going to just hook up with someone fast and just follow them all day long, and hopefully he can get a toe to the front. Those guys have all got a long way to go to get to Strang and Buttrick, though. And here's Nate Canny up to 3rd. Canny won the last GNCC of the year last year. Expected him to come out on fire this season. But he's had a little bit of bad luck trying to turn it around here in North Carolina. Strang motocrossing it through this section. And that's really where he does the majority of his practice and training nowadays, and he lives out in California. He is a motocross guy during the week and utilizes those skills to go fast in the woods on weekends. Battle still raging for 3rd between Canny and Whibley. And it's probably the first time today we can mention these are 3-hour races, so you don't want to go too hard too soon. You got to conserve some energy. And the guy who's able to conserve the most is Strang. He has not had to fight. He hasn't had to pass anyone. He's got clear vision. His bike is still light. He hasn't taken on much mud or water. He's got it going well, but he's got the youthful exuberance behind him. And look at this. Buttrick has closed the gap. Corey B up to the number 2 spot and closing on the leader. And Canny has gotten away from Whibley, so the FMF KTM team has done something right in between our race in Georgia and here at Steele Creek. Slow rider right now in between Strang and Buttrick, but that's no cause for alarm. Although you hear Buttrick revving his engine, trying to get the guy to move out of the way. And I think Canny is about to have to do the same right here. Only one line across that bridge, and there's Canny revving his engine. That's basically a horn. Same thing here for Whibley. And Whibley's wife, Catherine, on the side of the track cheering him on. Wow! Mullins on the number 3 has already caught Whibley. And you saw he was about, 2-3 riders from last coming through the first turn. So Mullins is on a charge from the back. But will he be able to catch the 3 riders who have broken away? Canny, Buttrick, and Strang. Nice job by Canny. Up on the pegs. Great balance on this uphill section. Let's see how Whibley takes it. He's sitting down. And the same thing with Mullins. A bit rougher ride there. Here we are through the pits. Let's see how Suzuki plays it. It's time to stop for fuel. And Strang is asking for goggles as well. So Buttrick momentarily will take the lead. But his pit is about 20 feet further away. And chances are Strang will be back out front, although he's not really hustling through this pit. He's taking his time, but he still gets back out in front of Buttrick. But Buttrick definitely made up time through this section. It's getting good. Stay tuned. Racer TV is brought to you by Can-Am and by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Now we've got ourselves a race. Jason Wygant, your host of Racer TV. It's Grand National Cross Country action from North Carolina. Josh Strang leading Corey Buttrick. This is the new guard of GNCC Racing. You got Canny here in 3rd and Strang out front. These guys are in their 20s, and then the 18-year-old Buttrick. They are turning the trick on the GNCC champ, Paul Whibley, who is 31 years old. Now, traditionally, success usually comes a little bit later in off-road racing than in motocross. And this guy right here, Charlie Mullins, can explain why. He has had speed and talent the last few years, but it's just a matter of getting that experience, putting all the pieces of the puzzle together. Another young charge in this series is Caleb Russell, who now has the lead in the XC2 division. Expect him to be challenging these guys next year in XC1. Strang and Buttrick. Buttrick looks comfortable chasing the points leader, and his teammate Canny is on the move as well. Now it's time for a Rocky Mountain Spotlight with a little help from one of our amateurs.
Hey, this is Chris Meadows, and I race the 250A in the GNCC series, and today we're going to look at the attack graphics on Polysport Plastic.
Thanks, Chris. The Polysport Complete Replica Plastic Kit retails for $109.99. It's produced with durable gloss polypropylene, and it is injection molded for a perfect OEM-type fit. The kit includes front and rear fenders, side panels, radiator scoops, and a number plate. Rocky Mountain only sells the kits, but not individual plastics. Couple that with Attack Graphics Slasher Radiator Shroud decals, $24.99. The graphics are printed on 14mm scratch-resistant vinyl. It offers a factory look and protects the shrouds from scratches, and includes stickers for both sides. And fork, fender, and swing arm decals are available as well. Couple that with the Attack Graphics number plate background, starting at $29.99. The full coverage kit includes a pre-cut number plate background and airbox covers with merging designs for a factory look. Made from durable 14mm scratch-resistant laminated vinyl, they also include a free mini number plate decal. It all looks good on Meadows' number 52 machine. He's last year's GNCC Youth Champ, and now already up to the big bikes. Thanks, Chris.
That was this week's Rocky Mountain Spotlight. For more information, go to RockyMountainATVMC.com.
And back to the racing. Josh Strang has led every inch of this one, but for how long? Corey Buttrick is right there. And as a little bit of rain begins to fall again here at Steele Creek, Buttrick loves the mud races, so this could play into his hands. Although if you're Buttrick, he's trying to learn from a guy who's won a bunch of GNCCs so far. Canny still solid in 3rd. And what has happened to Paul Whibley? He has dropped back. Charlie Mullins up to 4th. Woo, hanging it out over that bridge. There's the difference. Mullins has gotten around. Oh, and look, Caleb Russell out of the XC2 division has caught up to Whibley. and he started 1 minute behind on row 2. So Russell is up to his old tricks. Whoa! Strang almost threw it away. It's really getting slippery out here with the rain coming down, and if you're Corey Buttrick and you see the leader get sideways like that, now you know it's your opportunity to win. One more mistake like that from Strang, and it could be over. Kenny still in 3rd, Mullins in 4th. All these guys need a big mistake from both Strang and Buttrick to close that gap. They're telling us there's about a minute between 2nd and 3rd. Then you've got Mullins, Whibley, and Russell. Look out for KR. He is on a charge, leading that XC2 class. Through the pits. Boy, these guys are really playing it safe right now. It is so slippery with the rain coming down. Look at the giant tire track laid down by Strang and spinning that rear wheel probably 20 feet out of the corner. Buttrick is right there. Like we said, he spent a couple of laps following the lines, learning the pace, figuring out what Strang is doing right, and I think he wants to go to the lead now. Man, but it is getting so much worse. The camera's not really picking up how much rain is coming down here, but you see these guys spinning their tires as we see Russell has now gotten around both Kenny and Whibley, and he is not letting go. He's on the gas. Kenny's going to have to pick it up to go back after him. And here is Whibley. Now, we also have reports that there is a hill climb that has gotten completely jammed. It's gridlocked because some of our other riders in the other class are not able to make it to the top. Strang has now put a little distance between himself and Buttrick is now without goggles. You can have roll-offs or tear-offs, but that helps with mud, not with rain. You need windshield wipers for that. So this rain is wreaking havoc on vision on the racetrack. Looks good in the deep woods. We got some tree covering here, so the mud isn't a factor, but out of the more open stuff, it is ultra slick. Strang putting the hammer down, trying to get away from his 18-year-old pursuer, Buttrick. He doesn't want to give away any secrets. And right now, Buttrick cannot quite see the leader, and that might be because of the goggles situation. He cannot charge. So let's see now if Russell and Mullins can make a run at Buttrick for 2nd on the racetrack. Racer TV is brought to you by Can-Am and by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Well, it is really coming down. It is a deluge here in North Carolina, and this is what GNCC racing is all about. It's a tough man sport. There will be days where it's perfect, but there will be a lot more where you've got to deal with the worst Mother Nature can throw at you. And right now, Josh Strang is handling it. He has pulled away from Corey Buttrick, who has been riding without goggles, and that is very, very difficult when you're riding through mud. And Caleb Russell is up to 3rd physically on the track. Now, he'd have an outside shot at winning this thing overall if he can get within 1 minute physically of the leader, Strang. He'll win on adjusted time. There's Charlie Mullins, 4th on the track, 3rd of the pro class. They've gotten around Nathan Canny, and Canny now has company from Paul Whibley. Whibley also is without goggles, but he is so strong in the latter portions of these races. He will grind you down. I like to call him the Badger, because once he gets a hold of you, he does not let go. And Nate Canny will have to deal with that right now. No pressure on Strang, who was pulled away from Buttrick. And you see Buttrick's actually got the goggles hanging around his wrist. Well, that's very nice that he won't throw those away. And just as quickly as I say that, he does. But he gives it up to an FMF KTM team member. So the goggle people will be happy that he's saving his equipment for another day. Here is Russell with Mullins right behind him. I don't know if there's going to be enough time for them to make a run at Buttrick. They had built up such a big lead. So it's all going the way of Strang right now. But like we said, there are some hill climbs out here that are completely saturated with lap traffic, and that could change everything. Oh, Mullins back around Russell. Of course, Russell on the 250cc machine. He's got less horsepower, although he's a pretty lightweight kid, and obviously he's got great corner speed, so he's able to make the most out of the engine that he does have.
I'm over there at the 7 mile marker. It looks like there's nobody in the woods over all of them somewhere.
Now you hear the radio transmission. That's the GNCC track crew, and they're saying that a lot of the riders are all stuck in one section on one hill. That's why we're not seeing as much lap traffic through these areas as you would normally expect. There's Russell, was not known as being a mud rider. Then about halfway through the year last year, he finally got himself a win in some muddy conditions. And I think that little boost of confidence has made him ride well on days like today, although Trank, man, he has got a great riding style. What you see these guys do is they try to keep their feet on the pegs as much as possible. Now, Buttrick wasn't able to do that, but Strang was. You want to ride the bike through the pegs, not the seat. Keep that weight driving as close to that rear tire as possible in these slippery conditions. But obviously it's tough when the bike is sliding all over the place. You got to keep your legs out for balance. Now there is Mullins. Oh, here we go. This is what we're talking about. And look, Strang has come to a complete stop on the track along with Buttrick. Whibley has gone past them, is going for it. But we're here and they have decided to just stop this race right here.
Jeff, I got all the leaders right here. What do you want to do? You want to send them up the hill? Whibley's gone, I think. I don't know if they stopped.
And that's the radio transmission. This section is completely saturated. It is over. That's it. No one can make it up that hill. We're going to revert to the previous lap's results, which will be Strang, Buttrick, and Mullins in the top three of the XC1 class. And XC2, Russell takes the win there. Thomas and Scotty Watkins in the Geico Kawasaki will take third. I have never, in my 10 years of covering this series, seen this happen. We'll tell you how it all broke down here with our race recap. Started out nice. Good weather, nice track. Josh Strang gets the whole shot, leading the youngster Corey Buttrick. And a great battle behind them. Guys scrapping. There's Buttrick in second. You had Nate Canny battling it out with Paul Whibley. Eventually, Charlie Mullins would roll through the pack and challenge them as well. Look at this mistake. Strang almost throws it away under heavy pressure from Buttrick, who stayed with him all day long. Here's Mullins working his way up to third, and he brought Caleb Russell with him. Russell leading the XC2 class, was getting in the hunt overall. Then the rain started to come down, the track broke down, and there was one impassable hill climb. There was simply no way around it. You can see the riders are stuck in a ravine. Check it out here. And that was it. The race was called. Josh Strang wins. 3 in a row. Congratulations, Josh, and thank you for watching.